Willie D Live.
What's up, family? So I'm cruising these internet streets today, and I come across this white nationalist page where he's talking about these women, these two Black women who were arrested in Indonesia for assaulting nail salon workers. Now, this guy, his page is just full of anti-Black remarks, and we'll get to that. But first, I'll play the video and let you guys see what's happening. Now, these are two Black tourists who were arrested in Bali for attacking the nail salon workers.
That's what you guys are saying to help, right?
So notice the contrast. Rah-rah to head down, humbled, humiliated. Family, I'm telling you right now, I don't know exactly what happened in that situation. I don't know if those women were first violated or not, but I can tell you this. When you are in a foreign land, you must behave yourself and you must be on your best behavior, because you're not going to be treated like you might be treated in the US. Like what happened in that situation, they may have been arrested, but they would not have ended up with 2.5 years in prison. Yeah. Allegedly, that was the sentencing, 2.5 years in prison. So I was trying to find the story and to get more details. And I came across this story in Black Enterprise. So they did cover it, shots out to Black Enterprise. And this is what it says. Two Black women arrested in Bali over maltreatment of nail salon worker. Daily Mail reports that two Black women, one British and one American, are facing up to 2 years in prison in Bali, Indonesia, following their arrest for allegedly attacking nail salon staff on December 14th over a payment dispute. The tourists, identified as Andrea C.W. from London and Chancellor A. from New York, reportedly became agitated when they could not pay for an additional treatment they had requested at the Ombre Nail Salon in Kerobokan. The altercation, captured on CCTV, depicts Chancellor seemingly grabbing a salon clerk by the collar and pulling her over the counter, while Andrea vehemently insists that they are attempting to pay for their service. Let me tell you something. I am trying to be reasonable. I asked you several times to let me outside. I ran outside to get money. You don't know what I'm going outside for. Why were you trying to hold me hostage? The situation escalated as the staff accused the tourists of blackmail, claiming they threatened to leave a negative review if asked to pay, and subjected the salon employees to verbal abuse. We could start right there because there's not a lot more to it. They were arrested at the airport. The authorities said that they were, it appeared that they were trying to cover their faces, and they looked suspicious. And so they, they took off the head covering, they ran the CCTV scans, and they did some type of facial identity thing, and they discovered that, yeah, these are the two women that was in the salon, and we were looking for them. So, and I'm sure they stood out in Bali. In any event, they were arrested and allegedly received 2.5 years in prison. Family, let me remind you, when you go out of town, when you go out of the country, you gotta be on your best behavior. When you go out of town, like when you go to a different city, people know that you're a visitor. You gotta wipe your feet at the door. A lot of people think that the earth is their turf. They got that mentality like no matter where they go, the universe just centers around them. Everything's gonna center around them, and that's not true. You have to be respectful when you're visiting other people's territory, when you're in other people's town, when you're in other people's country. Hell, when you go to somebody else's house, man, you got to be respectful. You can't go over there with the same mentality that you might exhibit when you're on your own home turf. You see? That move that they made may have flew in London. It may have worked out, in New York. It may have worked out in New York. It probably would have been a little disturbing a piece, some type of citation, and they'd gone about their business. But they ended up with 2.5 years in prison with that rah-rah. You can't do that. And here's something that stood out, and I'll get to this white supremacist type thinking dude in a moment. But they said that the women threatened to leave a bad review. This is why you do not broadcast your intentions. If you plan on doing something, do it. If you plan on doing something to somebody, do it. Stop all that talking. Stop making threats. Stop making threats. Have you noticed that that's something I just don't participate in? I don't do that because you ain't got to. You already know what you're capable of doing. You already know what you will do, right? And you don't want to alert your enemies on how angry you are with them. You don't want to let them know. You want to rock them to sleep. You want to make them think everything cool. Then all of a sudden they're on the ground struggling for oxygen. That's how you want to do that. I mean, if you want to, you're talking about making contact. But even in that situation, you don't want to warn them, I'm going to leave a bad review. Now they can turn up. You see, those are triggering words for a business. You're going to leave a bad review? Oh, man. See, and so they were at a major disadvantage. And keep in mind also that a lot of those people in Bali, Indonesia, they are looking at what's going on in regards to Black women and nail salons in the US, and they've seen enough of those type of videos to already have an opinion about Black women. Right or wrong, the United States does a great job at making sure those images get out to other countries about Black people. They do a great job. And I'm not saying that it's all, mass media's fault. But I'm just saying that they do a great job trying to make us look bad. And we don't help when we fall into the stereotype. So here's what the uncivilized mutt, KKK, skinhead, whatever you want to call him, He's just him and the people who follow him. This is how they were trying to clown. Well, not trying, but they was clowning the women. Two entitled black tourists get a huge reality check in Bali. The two black women from New York and London attacked nail salon staff over a bills dispute. Indonesian cops arrested them at the airport and paraded them in orange jumpsuits. Actions have consequences. 2 years and 8 months in Indonesian jail. But check out now. Okay, so this person merely just posted it, but he posted it playing it up to his audience. And this is what his people were saying about the situation. That's what the U.S. need urgently. I agree with that. U.S. needs some, U.S. needs some type of, I would say, it needs some type of order, but not 2.5 years, not for what they did. That's not 2.5 years. The punishment doesn't fit the crime. And then so somebody else said, I love this so much, black fatigue. The whole world is feeling it. But black folks ain't out there bombing countries right now. But, well, they ain't calling it. They ain't making no decisions. So I wonder what they call that. What kind of fatigue is that? Boom on your ass. Okay, next. Big deals, Niels. Your privilege card is good for use in America only. Yeah, I agree with that. But here's some of the more uncivilized ones. Can leave the hood, but not the hood behavior. How do they know they grew up in the hood? See, a lot of them, they see black person and they automatically think that black is a synonym for living in the hood. Yeah. No BLM movement in Indonesia. They didn't have much to say when wearing those pretty orange jumpsuits. Justice served. How does those nails look in jail? Bye-bye, Buquisha. The usual suspects, F around and found out. I agree, button. The United States should learn a lesson from this. Stop giving people a free pass, hold people accountable. Yeah, you can start with your president, whom I'm sure that you don't want to hold accountable. See, this is why I wanted to read this, fam, because people like them, they pick and choose their outrage. They pick and choose. And then here's a person say, damn, white supremacy, can't spell the word damn, but you spell white and supremacy pretty good. But check this out. So, they try to make fun of the whole white supremacy thing or whatever. You don't have to make fun of that. White supremacy is actively, is actively in motion all day, every day, all over the world. So, and I'm sure even though in Indonesia, even though that didn't have any direct impact, you can, like I said earlier, you can look at how American media plays a role in the overall perception of black people around the world. This is not making excuses. This is not trying to evade accountability. This is calling a strike and a ball. So you ain't off the hook. White supremacy ain't never going to be off the hook around the world until the white folks who think that they are superior, who think that they are supreme, stop going around and trying to colonize and bend people to their will. Look at what Donald Trump just did, went in and invaded Venezuela and just kidnapped the president and his wife and gave her a black eye, gave the wife a black eye. Then he went and dropped the bomb on Iran because he was trying to get to the money. Yeah, baby, I ain't stupid. Trying to get to the money, working out deals with Israel. Yeah, I ain't stupid. Yeah. And then talking about taking Canada, talking about Greenland, taking Greenland. All of this for money and power. So, where's the black fatigue with all of that? That's what I want to know. Black fatigue, missing in action. These are real world consequences. These are real world consequences. This ain't no personal vendetta. This ain't no individual or isolated type of incident. These things that he's doing, the orange man is doing, have severe and global implications. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, let me show y'all the prison that they were in. That's the prison. They say that's one of the worst prisons in the world. They have a 350 inmate capacity, and over 1,000 inmates are jammed up in that prison. So that's where they held them at. They have a 2.5-year sentence. They may be home by now, or if they got, if they did their whole sentence, they may be home by now. They should be close to going home. In any event, fam, drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.